right, welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies might have inspired it. And today on the show, we were live at Downtown Cinemas to talk about Sisu, Road to Revenge, the sequel to the Finnish action movie that is just so over the top. Where else could they go except even further over the top? I had so much fun with this one. Joining me on this conversation live again over at Downtown Cinemas was Chase Gifford, Jake Gonzalez, and Carolyn Luckett, and we had a great time over there. Great crowd, got into some great puzzle pieces, and a really fun time at Downtown Cinemas. Before we get to it, I want to remind you, as always, to make sure you are subscribed to Piecing It Together wherever you are listening. And, of course, you can find us on social media at Piecing Pod. So with that said, let's talk about Sisu. All right, so I'm David Rosen, the host of the Piecing It Together podcast. We're going to get into Sisu, Road to Revenge, but first, I want to introduce my panel here. Chase, first time on the show. Introduce yourself to everybody.
My name's Chase. I've been a film critic in Vegas for about almost 17 years now. And I'm a writer for Netheralert. Still small, but we're growing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Happy to have you here on the show. Carolyn, last minute addition to the lineup. We had someone else that was going to be on the show. They had to drop out. Carolyn was just on our Running Man episode last week and volunteered to join us again. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you, David.
Absolutely. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Hi, I'm comedian Carolyn Luckett, and I'm also a producer as well. I've been performing comedy for 14 years. I'm an LA-based comic, and I started at many of the famous clubs out in LA, like the Comedy Store, the Improv, and I've done many shows here. I produced a show here 2 summers ago called Whacked Wednesdays, which was a homage to my Italian heritage, and I'm looking forward to being here tonight. Thanks, David.
Absolutely, absolutely. Jake, coming back to this show, introduce yourself to everyone.
I'm Jake Gonzalez. Basically, I'm just a film lover. I just persistently watch films and do my reviews on Letterboxd, and I really enjoy learning more about films, the history, and I'm also doing a podcast with my dad, like a VR cast on a big screen on the VR, and it's basically it's called the Cinema Snobs Podcast, and we just talk about films, and we're kind of snobby about it sometimes. That's why it's called Cinema Snobs. Yeah.
And I joined you guys once in
Yes, you
VR,
did,
and it was absolutely a very fun, unique way to do a show. So
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I want to kind of set the tone first before we start getting into puzzle pieces here. I noticed as I mentioned that I was doing this particular episode to people, and then also while booking you guys as guests, not everybody knew about the first movie. So I want to find out, first of all, who all here was fans of it. Let's just go down the line. Chase, were you a fan of the first one?
Yeah, I had heard about it. I think they were doing like a limited release of the first one.
Yeah.
And it looked interesting, Nazis getting theirs, So
Yeah,
I thought I'd give it a shot, and it ended up being maybe not as ridiculous as this one, but still pretty ridiculous.
Very over the top. And yeah, absolutely. What about you, Carolyn?
I actually just watched it for the first time last night,
There you
so it's very fresh in my memory. And I have my observations, and I'll share those later.
We'll get into them.
There
for
we go.
Sure. I like that you have basically seen a body count of 600 or 700 in the last 2 days. So, yeah.
Yes, it is the holidays.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. What about you, Jake?
So I actually seen the film basically when it first came out, not at the theaters but at home, and it kind of just struck me as being a very must see kind of film, because I remember John Wick 4 just came out.
Yeah.
And they promoted it as Finished John Wick, and I was like, all right, I'll watch Finished John Wick, and they're not as actually great and memorable as the John Wick films, but I think it might even be crazier, and we gotta put Sisu up there with one of the craziest assassins that we ever seen on screen, especially now. I mean, I just want part 3. I literally told my brother, I'm like, I just want to see part 3 where because like we're really into mafia stuff. I'm like, I want to see part 3 of Sisu going up against the 5 families in New York.
Woo.
Like that'd be cool.
I can make that happen.
I mean, yeah, you said you got your Italian heritage. It sounds beautiful.
Yes.
All right, produced by Carolyn. I like it.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's watch that movie. Yeah, and I saw it in the theater as well, and I loved it back then too. And I didn't get a chance to rewatch it before this, but I just knew going in, I was like, I loved the first one because it's this old dude killing Nazis, and I want to see him kill some other group of people now, so that's fine with me. But let's get into puzzle pieces here for this film. And for anyone who has not listened to Piecing It Together before, what we do is we talk about a film through the lens of what might have inspired it. We call those movies puzzle pieces. And I'll kick it off with what I think is a pretty obvious one here, which would be Mad Max Fury Road, as far as just a constant full-length movie chase, basically, mostly taking place on vehicles, with the dude freaking taking everybody out, and like they're all constantly on his ass, but he's constantly finding new ways to evade and just throw him off and all that kind of stuff. And the setting going through like this kind of wasteland kind of situation, where here it's not a wasteland, it's just in the middle of nowhere basically. But I think there was a lot of that in the first one too, but I think they leaned into it way more in this one. Were you guys thinking about Fury Road as well?
Oh, I had thought of Road Warrior for sure.
Road Warrior as well. I even thought a little bit of just the original Mad Max and too, because like you just got like, there just happens to be people out there just ready to go, you know, ready to just jump on their motorcycle.
The motorcycle scene with those ridiculous costumes, it was very Road Warrior for sure.
Absolutely. So we got like just a whole bunch of Mad Max.
I don't want to count this as a puzzle piece, but it kind of goes hand in hand with Mad Max, especially this particular scene. But in Raiders of the Lost Ark, when they're chasing Indiana Jones, I feel like I definitely seen similarities in that. And I was thinking Mad Max, but I just want to say that particular scene from that film, because just the way he was basically taking their heads off and running them over and stuff. I'm like, it's a lot of Indiana Jones in there.
Well, I think, you know, we'll throw that on the list anyway, because I think you do get a lot of that Indiana Jones going from train to train, and each one has its own little sets of, you know, set pieces and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. But let's go to one from you, Chase.
I saw a lot of Rambo in it.
Yeah, especially like going
First
back.
Blood.
Yeah.
People who won't leave him alone. He just wants peace.
Yeah.
They won't give it to him, so he's gonna give them what they asked for, essentially.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think a little First Blood, but also a little of the sequels as well, because of the way that, especially coming off the back of the first Sisu film, that they just continuously just get more and more ridiculous as they go. And I mean, you either love or hate a movie that just gets more and more ridiculous. Jake, you brought up John Wick, which is how they sold the first movie. Yeah. The John Wick movies get more and more ridiculous as they go as well, and I love that about them. Like, I don't want to just see the same old revenge movie over and over again. I want to see it just keep up in the ante. I want to
see them exploit it. You know? Like, it's already silly. Just exploit it.
Yeah, and I think Rambo, I mean, constantly doing that from movie to movie.
Can we appreciate, too, that there's so much death in the movie that they still don't kill the dog?
Yes, of course.
You never kill the dog.
The dog is cool. I love the dog.
It's a great dog. I want that dog. That's a great dog. It's a cool looking dog, and he's loyal, and he just likes to chill, and he's a good dog. Absolutely.
Does he have a choice? I mean, he's stuck with this guy.
Well, I mean, he loves it though. You can tell.
He'd like to be adopted by some other family, I'm sure.
I don't know. You got to wonder what's going through his head, like when all this shit is going on around him. He's like, I just want a treat, basically. Like, just give me some snacks. Carolyn, let's go to one from you.
Well, I mean, I see this guy as a non-stoppable commando, but also as a vigilante. And the movie I'm thinking of is Charles Bronson in Death Wish.
Sure.
That's an old school one, but yeah, they couldn't stop him either. Mm-hmm. And this guy is just unstoppable, and I think there will be a number 3, but I'm hoping in the third one they will have at least one woman. There was no women in this movie. Not
That's
one.
True.
I was looking the whole time. What happened?
Maybe the dog's a woman, though.
Yeah, well, in the first one, but there were no women in this movie.
Yeah, I think that is a tough one.
That explains why they're so unhappy.
Yeah. Yeah, a woman would...
Finland, you know, fun fact, is supposed to be one of the happiest places in the world. Yeah, and the highest consumers of coffee. So perhaps they're just out of coffee and women, they'd be okay.
There you go. There you go. Maybe that's what we see in
I think that's
Sisu
it.
3. Yeah. Like, this one, what I loved about this movie is that, it didn't try to change things up or anything. We just go right into what we all wanted from a sequel, but let's just change it up for the third one. Let's go like happy. Yeah. Women, coffee, maybe
Women,
a couple more dogs.
Yes, dogs.
Yeah. I'm all for all that. So, Jake, let's go to one from you.
So not gonna lie, David, when you were talking about going from train to train and those, you know what I mean? Like, you scared me. I was like, he's getting really close to
Stealing it?
mentioning Snowpiercer.
Okay.
Were you gonna mention that?
I was not,
Okay,
but
good.
absolutely.
All right, but yeah, I mean, it's totally Snowpiercer at the end, at least the final act. Because when he was going crazy in each one of those cars, I was like, if he goes to the next one, my puzzle piece is going to be Snowpiercer. And then he went to the second car, and I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna say Snowpiercer. I mean, just the idea of going from car to car, is that even the right terminology?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just say car to car. I mean, there's no underlying theme regarding capitalism like there is in Snowpiercer, but just that format alone, I think that definitely is like Snowpiercer.
Yeah, there's no capitalism theme. What is the theme here?
I think it's just death, no?
I don't know.
There's barely a plot. You want themes too?
They're clearly not happy.
Yeah. Well, and look, he gets a little piece of happiness at the end there. Some people want to reach out and
He was much sadder in this one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's been through a lot.
He really has, no?
Yeah. So. Well, I'll go to a piece, and I think there's a much better version. Maybe when we open it up to the floor later, somebody will throw out a better version of this. But I keep thinking about movies that just give the audience what they want specifically from a sequel. The one that I keep going to is Deadpool and Wolverine, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm not a big superhero guy to begin with, but like that's a movie that said, what do the fans want to see out of these characters, and just gave us exactly those kinds of things, teaming up those two characters, first of all, with those specific actors, which everybody wanted to see them together, throwing in all the jokes, all the gore, all the violence, all the, everything that basically made the Deadpool movies successful, and just amping everything up, and lots of fan service and all that. And I think this movie does that same thing of like, this is what people liked about the first one. It's not missing the point of the first one whatsoever. It just goes right in on exactly what we want out of a Sisu film. And so hopefully, like you said, if we make a third one, we continue to go in that direction. But yeah, so that's what I'm going with next. But let's go to you, Chase.
I saw some elements of Sergio Leone in it. It felt very spaghetti western at times.
Yeah.
And you could say any array of movies from him. Just the silliness, but there's also a poignancy to it.
I also I think these movies, the scores are just so freaking good. And
what is that, like Tibetan throat singing?
Yeah, the throat singing, absolutely. And I what was it, 3 years ago, or whatever, when the last one came out, I had the score on my top 10 list of scores, and everybody was like, did Sisu have a good score? Like, nobody really remembered it, but I was a big champion of that score, and I think that the composer like really just went all in with more of the same, but also like kept like amping it up. And I mean, it's what you got to do.
It's very Jaws-like.
Very, yeah.
Like the music preceded him, and
Yeah.
you knew something was coming every time.
It's kind of like a good guy Jaws, basically. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go to another one from you, Carolyn.
Oh, well, you mentioned spaghetti westerns. I was totally thinking the same thing with Clint Eastwood and all the spaghetti westerns he's done. And, the theme music behind it, it's just encompassing the whole realm of this movie. It really does. And, yeah, Clint Eastwood's a badass, too.
He sure is.
Right?
And getting Stephen Lang in here is such a great idea. And I could see Clint Eastwood joining this franchise. Let's do it. Why not?
Well, he's old enough. He has nothing to lose.
That's all we need is old guys.
So,
right? So yeah.
yeah.
A couple of old guys just somehow surviving this shit. So that's what these movies are all about. So absolutely. Jake, let's go to you.
Well, I think we can all collectively agree that one of the most memorable parts of this film is the fact that he hides a knife in his body and pulls it out, right?
That
And I'm
payoff
thinking,
was so good.
I mean, for real. definitely one of the most memorable parts about the film. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, where else have I seen someone pull a weapon out of their body? And I was like, Videodrome. When he pulls a gun out of his stomach, I was like, all right, that's my puzzle piece now. So just the idea of pulling a weapon out of your stomach, not stomach, but out of your body, very original.
Yeah.
We've seen gun out of the stomach with Videodrome, and now we're going to see knife out of the leg with Sisu too. So there you go.
That is a really good pull, Jake. I love that one. And yeah, I that's definitely, you really want something you've never seen before from one of these movies, and you just rarely get it. That's definitely something that we haven't seen before. So
yeah,
hell yeah, I love that. I will go again, just like with my last piece. Like I feel like I'm reaching here with my puzzle pieces today, but I kept trying to think of this whole idea of taking apart his house and transferring it and rebuilding it in another location, and it's such a ridiculous idea. And I was trying to think of what movies have I ever seen where somebody does that. And the only thing that came to mind is the ending of Freddy Got Fingered. Remember this? Tom Green basically mails his dad Gord's house to where is it? Somewhere in the Middle East. But yeah, just up and takes the entire house and transports it. So
I mean, I've seen the film. I did not remember that.
Yeah, it's so ridiculous.
That's a deep pull.
There you go. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah. So, but I don't know. Did you guys think of any other movie where somebody even considered the idea of taking their house apart and putting it somewhere else?
And maybe Up, no?
Yeah, sure. There you go. That's kind of. Did he do that? Yeah, I guess so. Sure. Yeah, we'll use Up as well. So let's go to one more from you.
It might be obvious, but I mean, it's hard to ignore Inglourious Bastards.
Sure.
Now, granted, this was Soviets, but I think the sentiment still stands.
Yeah.
It's just villains getting theirs. It's what you wanted to happen. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Hitler didn't die that way in Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
But seeing him take a face full of ammunition was very satisfying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I bet someone like Tarantino would just love these movies. And just
this is
the whole
Tarantino
genre thing.
incarnate for sure.
Yeah. So I think that this definitely goes right along with any of those kinds of movies that we kind of throw in that bucket of things like that. So, yeah, absolutely. How about you, Carolyn? One more from you.
Oh, I don't know. The war is over in this movie. And I'm hoping that in the next one, maybe it's 10 years forward and he's moved somewhere, fun like California. Mm-hmm. Just out of Finland, for God's sake, just get out of there and enjoy your life with the dog and find a woman and just be happy.
How does the action begin, though, in that version of the movie?
Well, clearly it's going to end up with some Soviet at his front door with a gun and a knife, and I'm here to avenge you, something along those lines.
Yeah.
And
well, I'd watch that for sure.
Of course.
So, yeah, I watch all these movies. We'll get this panel together again, and we'll just do all this again. I'm all for it, 100%. Jake, how about you? One more.
Well, I just think that this film is obviously over the top, and to a point, you're kind of just waiting for the next big scene where something wild happens, right? And he's just getting beat up the entire film. So they had to add some humor into it. And I felt like the scene where he was hiding from all those soldiers who were sleeping.
I love it.
And he steps over the glass. Obviously, I think of Die Hard there.
Sure.
But then he keeps going on, and then he has to get down. He rolls his back over into this something sticking out of the ground, and I'm just like, oh, I could feel that. And then he puts his hand in a mousetrap. Uh-huh. And then I think, wow, getting hurt after getting hurt for laughs, I immediately think of O.J. Simpson getting just repeatedly beat up in The Naked Gun.
That is so good. Yeah. Yeah, that opening sequence is one of the funniest scenes of all time. Yeah.
It's unforgettable.
It's so good. But yeah, that whole sequence was just wonderful and totally. Both these movies have humor in them, but you wouldn't expect it to kind of go that far with a little bit of just silliness just out of nowhere, and that whole sequence was just freaking great. So, yeah, absolutely. Let's see if anybody in the audience has any puzzle pieces for us. Did anybody think of anything that we haven't brought up yet? Anybody? Right here?
Yeah, I got a couple.
All right.
So the original screenplay for John Wick called for him to be a 70-year-old man.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So it's like they got the original screenplay and ran with it.
Yeah.
there's this South Korean movie called Revenger, where a former cop gets himself thrown onto this island where all the violent criminals go, so he could go and get revenge on the people who killed his wife and kid. And it's just nonstop action. He just kills everybody. And that's kind of like both these movies.
First of all, I love that name, Revenger. That's a great movie title. But second of all, did this guy just put himself in this situation just so he could kill people? Like, maybe, possibly.
It kind of seems like it, but just killing anyone who got in his way.
Just anybody. Yeah, he just wants some good old-fashioned death revenge.
Yeah.
Murdering.
Yeah. And then one specific shot, when he's underwater, it brought to mind The Shape of Water. It was the exact same image, just replace him with a merman.
Yeah.
And you got Shape of Water.
Right on. Love it. Anybody else have anything right here?
There's a Peter Sellers movie from the 60s where it's reminiscent of both versions of this movie, where at the end there's a guy riding a missile from America to Russia.
Dr. Strangelove.
And
Dr. Strangelove,
Dr.
right?
Strangelove.
Yep.
I seem to recalling that this is the same type of scenario.
This
I
is
definitely thought
exactly
of
like
that.
it.
I was like, if he gets on the rocket, I'm gonna say Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Dr. Strangelove, I think 100%. So, yeah, good one to bring up here. Anybody else have any? We got back up there.
I mean, with the constant action and just no really settled down point in the movie, I think of the movie RRR.
Ooh, RRR was a really good one. Yeah, just nonstop action, just super over the top. And yeah, I remember when that movie came out, like everybody went nuts for it. And then I don't know, I feel like people kind of slowed down on the idea of over the top, ridiculous action. And
I think it's hard to do. No?
yeah, I guess it is. It's hard to like really pull off in a way that everybody kind of could get behind. And
Exactly.
yeah, that one everybody got behind,
Yeah.
and then Sisu, like not everybody like really went for it. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was really fun when that movie came out. But yeah, good one. Up there.
I was thinking of like a lot of the Fast and Furious films. I always call these movies that are like, yeah, that would never happen. I always call them yeah rights. Like this, yeah right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I said that a lot during spring.
Yeah, and the
I
fact.
did too.
Yeah, well, that's what's so fun about it, is that it's just so yeah right the whole time. I love about the Fast and Furious films, like I'm a fan of them because they keep up in the ante with the ridiculousness every time. They always have to outdo themselves, and I hoped that this would do that, and it did do it. I just wasn't sure if it would, and I'm really happy that it did.
I
So
like that it had a lot of heart, and that's what brought it all together.
sure.
It had every emotion in it.
Yeah, it really did. Absolutely. Any others out here? Anybody have anything? Anybody else wonder if it was on purpose that they released it on Wicked Weekend with the "There's no place like home" line?
I didn't think of that, but that's a good point.
Puzzle piece. Anybody else? 1, 2, 3. All right, let's get into some closing thoughts here. Chase, let's start with you. Anything about this movie you want to talk about before we wrap it up here?
I just thought there was incredible payoff to it. You know, he brought up the knife scene. I remember him biting into it, and I couldn't exactly tell what he was biting. I thought he was like trying to rip his own teeth out for some reason. I wasn't sure what he was doing. And then it kind of just didn't address it for a few minutes, and I was wondering where it was going and what happened there. And then suddenly he's just ripping that thing out.
It's wonderful.
It made me think of Die Hard a little bit,
Yeah.
and with a Vengeance, yeah.
Right.
When he's pulling the metal piece out,
Oh yeah, that's right.
that's what it made me think of a little bit.
Nice. I love it. But yeah, it's just such a freaking great sequence. So
I
cool.
think one of the best things maybe a movie can do is get you or make you want to see more of it.
Mhm.
And I would love to see a third one. So
Absolutely. Carolyn, any closing thoughts here?
I did love the mousetrap scene. That was quite impressive. I must agree on that one. And I really hope that, after he builds his house, that he seeks therapy,
Yeah.
because I think he would benefit from it very much. There are medications out there, people,
Yes.
to
Absolutely.
help. And and really hoping he moves out of Finland at some point.
I think that last scene was kind of hinting at the fact that maybe this guy's going to get a little bit of help in some way, shape, or form. you know?
I kind of hope so.
I
Yeah.
hope so too. Absolutely. He deserves it. Jake, how about you?
I just think that for these sorts of films to work out, they shouldn't outstay their welcome, because after a while, no matter how entertaining or over the top the action is, if it goes on for too long, kind of get bored. I never found myself bored here, because there was kind of that sequence at the end where he was captured and they were just like really going at it, and then he like found the courage, that like national Finnish courage to just push out and take care of business. You know what I mean? So I think this film, for what it is a success. Definitely a sequel worthwhile if you actually enjoyed the first one. So I mean, I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna call it like an actual great film, but I think it's a great action film.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a great action film that is what you're looking for out of a sequel to Sisu, if you ever thought there should be a sequel to Sisu, right? Like that's kind of why I'm so high on it right now. I'm just like, I didn't necessarily think it ever needed one, but as soon as I heard there was going to be one, I said, please make it just super over the top, and that's what they gave us. So yeah, I'm happy for sure. So great. Chase, let's get to some plugs. What do you want people to come check out?
Yeah, like I said, I'm a writer for Nerd Alert. It's nerdalert.world. We have a YouTube page. Yeah, check it out.
Awesome. And I'll have links to everything in the show notes of the podcast episode. Carolyn, how about you?
I am on TikTok as Krabby Lion Lady. I'm on Facebook. Carolyn Noel, like Christmas, Noel, Luckett, Luckett. Instagram, X, YouTube, of course. You can find a lot of my comedy videos. And doing some work in LA at the very beginning of the year, probably back at the Comedy Chateau.
Awesome. How about you, Jake?
Well, like I said, I'm very active on Letterboxd. I just go by Jake Gonzalez, and I do a podcast with my dad called the Cinema Snobs VR Cast. You can find us on the Oculus on big screen, and I post on my YouTube channel speaking on flicks. Not so consistently, but that's where we post our VR cast videos on there. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, we will be at Maya Cinemas on December 18th for The Housemaid, and then hopefully we'll be announcing another show here at Downtown Cinemas very soon. I want to thank Downtown Cinemas so much for having us out. Thanks to everybody that came out tonight, and that's our show for today. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, this is Wax Trax Records here on 2909 South Decatur. We buy all your old 45s, your old albums, any type of music memorabilia. Also, we sell music memorabilia, albums, CDs, and a lot. Come on down to Wax Trax, 2909 South Decatur, or give me a call at 702-362-4300. Thank you very much.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation about Sisu. Thank you so much to Carolyn Luckett, Chase Gifford, and Jake Gonzalez for joining me on that one. Thank you to Downtown Cinemas for having us out. Thank you so much to everyone who showed up to the show, and thank you to you for listening. If you're enjoying piecing it together, make sure you are subscribed. We got a lot of episodes on the way. Of course, Sisu is part of the end of the year awards rush. Wink, wink. But lots of movies to cover as we get into December and all of the big awards movies. So we'll have a lot of episodes coming your way. So make sure you are subscribed. You can follow us on social media at Piecing Pod. Join our Facebook group, Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces. And don't forget, we do have a Patreon, the Produced by David Rosen Patreon, where I post bonus and advanced content from Piecing It Together, from Awesome Movie Year, and from my music career. Lots of great stuff at patreon.com/bydavidrosen, which is how you could support the show if you want to throw a little support my way. And yeah, I think it's a good place to wrap up here today. Let's play us off with a piece of music. And I got to go with something big and epic to close out a movie like this. I'm going to go with a song called Power from my album More Content, which came out in 2023. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll be back with more Piecing It Together real soon.
an All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.